Well, hey everybody, I'm on the back deck at the OC. It's pretty warm today out here. I don't know exactly what the temperature is, but I imagine it's every bit of 60 degrees. But I thought I'd make a video and talk about a couple of things. None of it makes any sense, absolutely none of it. But I did see a good video about a guy talking about Athens, Georgia. And I made a blog page out of it and put some technical information, some research information that I added on there using AI Beam. And it's well worth looking at. I'll put the link in the description box in this video. But what we're talking about is we're talking about early false history, the covering up and the literally changing what actually had happened here in the United States. And this boy touches on it. There's other people that are and have been touching on it. I've been knowing it in my heart for a long time that I can just give you this real quick. I don't know exactly the year, but it was in the early 90s, and I was in a Corps engineer's office in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and some of the first Landsat type of data was coming through, and the boy that was at the computer, he was focused on one little area, and I just asked him what would happen if you focused on a bigger area. And so he focused on a bigger area, and that was Vicksburg, Memphis, and you could see New Orleans. And then I even said, well, let's see Atlanta, Georgia. So he opened it up big enough to see Atlanta, Georgia, and what I could tell was with that resolution of the way the screen was and the ground penetrating radar, and it was where you could see that Atlanta, Georgia had been hit by 3 nuclear weapons, and Memphis had been hit with 1. Dallas, Texas, and the Fort Worth area was hit with 2, and New Orleans, I think, was hit with 1, and Houston, Texas might have been 1 or 2. But boy, they destroyed Atlanta. And see, I had already been knowing this. It was a false history, but I didn't have no consciousness in my thinking. But when I first started looking at topographical maps as being a surveyor, growing up around surveying all the way back to the 70s. I started surveying in 1976 with the Army Corps of Engineers. The first job was a summer program, and I did 2 summers. And after that, I started working for county engineers and went on from there to understand that the topographical layout of this country had already been existing. Now, I can't prove it to you or tell you how I know it and all that. I just know when we studied how we were building roads and adding roads to roads and bridges, I could just see in the topographical maps, the layouts, the aerial photography, I could tell that these roads have been here for thousands of years. And I ain't the only one that knows that. There's a lot of people coming into that awareness and that awakening. There's been high civilization here for 10,000 years based on what this boy is talking about, and another guy named Jason. I can't think of Jason's last name, but Jason goes into great detail about some of the historical. He's getting it from books that are, they didn't get snatched away and taken up and burnt. So he has a volume of information from different books. Dang, I can't think of his last name, but his name is Jason. I'll put his link in the description too, so you can go check his videos out. But of course, we got the people that talk about Tartaria, and we talk about mud floods and things like that. But some of this stuff is more real than we could ever imagine right now, how they reset this world. And it's been, in my understanding, it's been two cataclysms and possibly 4 resets. Now, you'll have to make your own mind up on that and have to look it up, your own data. You have to do your own research because it's not easy to wrap your head around that. But if you think you're at the height of technology right now, you got another thing coming. They were high society, Atlantis, Lemuria, the Moors. A lot of people don't even want to go there, but when you talk about the Moors, you're talking about black people and the wisdom and the knowledge that they had, and that they were able to do great buildings when they first come here to the United States and think they discovered something. Thanksgiving's coming up, so perfect time to be talking about this. Yeah, they knew the Indians were already here, but the Moors were already here. Some of the Vikings were here, and the Welsh people, and Athens. How did Athens come into being in the United States? And all roads lead to Rome. Look how many cities it got, states that got Athens in it. Look how many states that got Rome in it. This place wasn't discovered, it was taken over. And they had to kill a whole lot of people to get it that way. And then they had to hide the history of it. And they did a damn good job of hiding the giants. The giants, when I say giants, I'm talking about people from 8 feet tall to maybe possibly 10 and 12. And they called them mound builders. I grew up in Greenville, Mississippi, where Winterville Indian Mounds was. And as a little kid, I was actually visualizing what that would have been and how that looked. And I even brought it up in class, and they said, oh, the Indians were savages. I'm going to tell you something right now. They had better clothes and technologies than we got right now. They had a way of life and a way of living that was pure and whole. They wasn't starving and living in rags. That is what they want. That's what they want you to believe, but that's not true. As you do your own research and you study these things and you ask Father, Mother God to show you and reveal you what you need to know about it, you'll realize that we've been lied to about everything. And you can then start wrapping your head around how to heal your body and heal your mind from these disease, parasite vermins that are running things. Like Washington, D.C., the whole damn thing needs to be cleaned and cleared. Like you clear your body out of parasites. I'm coming up on a parasite cleansing this month. It's wrapped around the new moon, 2 days before the full moon, and then 2, possibly 3 days after the full moon, I do a parasite cleansing. Everybody has parasites. It's a shadow and a type and a pattern of the type of insanity that we're living in, with the reality that is given to us when we know nothing about who we are, nothing about what this country is, nothing about the world's history, much less how they changed it and manipulated it. Well, that's enough said about all that. Y'all have a good day. Do your research. Check the links in this video, and don't stop believing that you have the right to know. Not only do you have the right to know, but once you start understanding this, you're going to understand that you don't have no rights until we awaken to Christ consciousness. And that gives us the right to question everything. Y'all have a good day.